just sort of do a quick video on some pack mentality, just while I'm out here, sitting outside, enjoying the last sunshine. Now, there's a few things you probably will or won't want to take with you, like it's going to come down to how long you're going, who you're going to be with, the terrain, the temperature, the expected weather, how much skill you've got. There's a whole lot of things that come into it. I'd perfectly be, like, if the weather wasn't going to be horrible, it wasn't going to be too cold, I'd be comfortable packing some thermal pants, thermal top, my big swan dry there, which I always take with me. Don't need to worry about a sleeping bag really, or I could take my super light one that packs down smaller than that billy can, just as technically it's a liner, but down, it doesn't weigh much, and just good for an extra bit of insulation. And then a poncho, just to keep some shelter off, work as a bit of a heat reflector, work with a fire, in which case I mean I want to take my axe. I usually take an axe or something similar anyway, or a big machete, or a decent sized machete, just because it's quite a versatile piece of gear. Can help you do, like, you can do the same things with a knife, obviously, like there's no point discussing it, but it's, I wouldn't, because a knife's a knife, you want to keep it sharp for all the things that a knife's made for. Your heavy cutting tools are going to be a machete, an axe, or a saw. I like the axe as there's not a lot that can break on it. It's pretty, like, the head's sturdy. You're going to be doing something pretty stupid if you manage to break the head. Handles are easy-ish to replace on them. Tomahawks are easier, obviously, but you can replace a handle on an axe with a little bit of time and skill. Saws are useful. They're at least noisy. They're more energy efficient. Like, you can make the cuts cleaner. You don't have to sort of aim when you're swinging. Which also means you're a little bit less dangerous if you miss or if the cut follows through. Like, the thing with smaller axes you've got to think about is try and do your work from kneeling, or put something between you. You'll always want to have, if you're cutting straight between yourself, and have your legs apart, because you don't want to end up lodging this thing in your shin, because blades they don't discriminate. They'll cut you just as much as they'll cut the wood, and it's not their fault, it'll be yours being an idiot, to be completely honest. Notepads are always useful to take with you, even if it's, you record conditions, you can, just write things you think about, bushcraft notes, things you think you would have liked to bring with you in your pack for next time, anything like that. Or worst case scenario, if you want to write your sort of last will and testament, you never know how shit it's going to be, you're completely stuck. Solar battery charger, I wouldn't take that if I'm not going on a big trip, to be honest. I'd take an extra, or a couple spare batteries and call it good. Hygiene kit, again, if it's 1 or 2 nights, I'm probably not going to bother. I took it on a 3-day and I didn't even use it. Had a bit of a swim around in the lake, even though it was freezing cold. That's all you need really, it's nothing horrible. A shotgun, it's up to you and where you are. Ideally it's not exactly a mountainous backpacking piece of gear. You wouldn't want to go into the hills with carrying 200 rounds of or 200 shotgun shells in a full-size pump or a side-by-side or anything like that, because it's pretty heavy. Like, I took 50 with me, 50 shells, and there was a significant weight increase, whereas I could take like a 22 Magnum scout rifle with some 22 long rifles, adapters. I could bring 200 rounds of 22 and it wouldn't weigh, and it would weigh as much as, or probably weigh less than that whole shell belt right there. And some 22 Magnums for some bigger stuff if I wanted to. It's not a big deal. I like the 22, it's a good round for what it is. Gives you a bit more range than most. Like, obviously a slug's going to do the job better than like a 22 Magnum, but that's a whole hunk of, like, do you want to shoot a duck with a 12 gauge slug if it's 50 metres away? Probably not. Probably not going to be as easy to hit either, especially if you're using like a bead sight, like on a normal shotgun. Candle wax on there, don't know why. Shima, you always want like a large piece of cotton, or a bandana or something like that. Just, it's a useful bit of kit, like it can be used for a whole lot of stuff. I'd never really leave home without one. I like wool, like I've seen in other videos, it's a good insulation factor. It's very rarely going to be, it's going to retain most of its heat retention properties even when it's soaking wet, which is always good in case I do something stupid. Cordage, it's lightweight, paracord or bank line or anything like that, it's real durable. It's cheap enough and it's not very huge. So much more effective than trying to make some of the wilds. I can do that as well, but it's easy to tie some paracord up. I've got like a whole heap of hanks of different pre-cut lengths. Some stuff that on this trip that was from a bit of a laugh, some Powerade which is like Gatorade stuff to mix, and some vodka. I wouldn't bring that if I was going seriously or by myself or anything like that. No point. Just an extra, kilo and a half of weight that I didn't need. Fishing rod. If you're going somewhere with good fish, I probably wouldn't bring the fly reel because I don't know how to use it properly. But little rod, this micro reel made by Pinnacle, I think was the brand or something like that. And some flies or some hooks or whatever. Sewing kit, which is for me just sewing thread with some needles stuck down the middle and some pins. A couple of safety pins. And a torch, whether it be an LD10 or an LD20 or a headlamp, because you always want a headlamp because sometimes you don't. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to walk around with a torch in your mouth all the time. A little bit of extra weight. I like the weight off. Extra clothes. I always have a dry sack, which is that blue one just there with some extra clothes in it. Be it just some thermal like some polypropylene stuff like leggings and a shirt. It means you've always got some dry stuff to change into if you've been out on a hunt and it's going kind of bad and you're stuck or anything, or you got stuck or you got soaked or anything like that. Kind of useful. Bit of toilet paper, never hurt anybody. Always keep it in a plastic, like a Ziploc bag, because wet bog roll's no good for anyone. Trail snacks, something light and effective. You want high calorific foods because you've got to carry it all anyway, so you might take the high calorie options. We get the more bang for your buck sort of stuff out of it. Food, that would be my cook kit if I went by myself for, I don't know, any time really. Metal cup, metal bottle, metal spoon, some pot scrubbers, maybe some tin foil. Follow that up with, I'll usually I go out for a week with a kilo of rice, a kilo of flour, and like a half a kilo of salami, and some trail mix stuff, and I'll be fine. Supplement it with some traps or scrounging or foraging. If you're not too confident, and you always want some fire starting other things, I'll carry a flint, or this ferro rod for example, as well as a Zippo lighter or two, or some Bics or anything like that. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got a couple of backups and maybe some kind of accelerant to help you if it's a bit rough out there. Over here I've got a field guide to native edible plants and photographic guide to mushrooms and other fungi of New Zealand, because this is obviously where I am, so I'm not a massive wild food expert, so it's always useful to have some reference. They don't weigh a whole lot. You don't need to take them. If I was just going for a straight hunt, so it's in, look for animals out, I wouldn't bother. If I was doing more bushcrafting, sure, take these. It's all about sort of you thinking about what you're going to need. There's no point in lugging a whole heap of crap for no good reason. If the weather's fine, you don't need to carry all your extra rain gear. You don't need to carry like heaps of winter clothing. You're not going to use it. If you're not going hunting, if you're just going tramping, maybe not worry about a rifle or a shotgun. But that also depends on dangerous animals or the like. Anyway guys, that's just a short video, so cheers for that, bye.